Hello, this is The Fight Guy. I'm your host, Guy Pert. UFC 317, last minute drama. Manel Kape is out of his fight against Brandon Royval. Joshua Van is going to step in, short notice. He was just unranked this time last week. Now he potentially could be the number one contender in the flyweight division. 2 pay-per-view fights, 2 pay-per-view wins, potentially in the same month. I don't know if that's ever been done before. We'll hit that in a second. I'm going to cover the best moments from UFC 316. The submission in both the main and co-main events. Nobody really saw both of those coming. That was crazy. Some other moments in the card. We're going to run through it, and then I'm going to end the video with the best possible fights to make after 316. If the UFC books 4 of these fights, half of the fights that I'm going to give out, we are in store for some fireworks for the rest of 2025. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Like I mentioned, Manel Kape is out of his fight against Brandon Royval. I believe it was going to be the 1 against the 6. Now we're going to get number 1 against number 14, who number 14 wasn't ranked just a few days ago. He just finally climbed his way in the rankings after an impressive win against Bruno Silva. My opinion, more impressive than Manel Kape's win against Bruno Silva. But yeah, we got Joshua Van, going from unranked to potentially the number 1 contender in the same month in about a 4-week span. That is ridiculous. I don't know if it's ever been done before. The closest that I can think of, my buddy helped me recall this, but this would be Davison Figueiredo 5 years ago in COVID. He did submit Alex Perez in November, and then just a couple weeks later, he did headline another pay-per-view card against Brandon Moreno, which ended in a draw. You guys know the story with the COVID cards, though. It's just not the same. And then, technically it's within the same 1-month span, but it's not in the same month, November to December. So I don't know if this has ever been done before. I don't know if anybody's ever had 2 back-to-back pay-per-view wins in the same month, let alone, somebody going, first fight after getting ranked being against the number 1 contender. Maybe it's been done a couple times, but not like this. This is a very big opportunity for really both guys. Obviously, it's Joshua Van has more to gain than Royval, but respect to Royval for taking this fight. There's a lot of guys, who don't want to take hard fights unless it's an easy path to the title. Yair Rodriguez is the first on my mind right now, which we might get to in another video. Maybe I'll hit it to the end of this one. But Joshua Van, this, it's a win for the flyweight division. They needed somebody like this. It's a win for the UFC. It's a win for the fans. It's a win for International Fight Week. Everybody loves this. I haven't seen any hate on this. He didn't take a lot of damage in his fight this past weekend against Bruno Silva. He looked fresh. He looked clean. He looks healthy. He looks like he's ready to go again in a couple more weeks. And, mind you, this is a big step up in competition. Brandon Royval is somebody that will sit there and bang with them. I'm excited to watch that fight. I really like Joshua Van, man. I saw him fight at 313 on the Pereira Ankalaev card in Vegas. That fight went to a decision, but he looked really good, man. He reminds me of like a Justin Gaethje of the flyweight division. It might be too soon to say that. Go ahead. He might lose this fight. Mind you, it's a number 1 contender, but he's just got that power. He's got very good technique. Like, technically, his footwork, the way he moves in the fight, the way he throws his body weight and his power and his punches, it reminds me a lot of Justin Gaethje in the lightweight division. So, is this a second coming of Justin Gaethje? It very well could be. And get this man a performance bonus. All right, win or lose on International Fight Week, pay this man. All right, he's been nothing but entertaining. The fans love him, and I don't believe he's won a single bonus in his UFC career so far, which is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I covered everything I wanted to cover on that. Like I said, the last piece, I guess, here is, Manel Kape knocking out Bruno Silva in the 3rd round back in December, and now we just get Joshua Van doing it a few days ago. I thought Joshua Van did it better. We'll even pull up the stats just to show you. But yeah, right here, Joshua Van, 150 landed out of 240 pretty much. To Bruno Silva's 77 strikes. And if we go back to the Kape fight, you can see it right here. Kape landed 111 to Bruno Silva's 60. Joshua Van looked better than Kape did against Bruno Silva. styles make fights. I'm not forcing you to do the MMA math on this one here. I'm just helping you enjoy this fight. If you were really hoping for the Kape fight, this fight is just as good, if not better. Okay? That's my takeaway from this. So, we'll move on to my next point here, the best moments from UFC 316. We'll start with the main event. We'll work our way down because most of the best moments occurred on the main card. Don't get me wrong. We had a couple, the whole card was amazing. Couple big moments on the prelims, but we'll start with the main event. I mean, this was the biggest shocker for anybody. Merab Dvalishvili submitting Sean O'Malley in the third round via guillotine choke. It was more of like a north-south choke, like an Ezekiel north-south combined. I didn't even think it was a choke when he was locking it up. It looked like it was a neck crank when he was first locking it up on Sean, but Sean didn't address it with the urgency he needed to address that choke with. Once Merab slipped into the north-south position, he adjusted the choke just a little bit, but it was already there with that pressure from north-south. So it was an amazing submission from Merab, amazing performance. He even outstruck O'Malley on the feet. He was looking good on the feet, which was crazy. Sean looked a lot better this fight. Don't get me wrong. The first 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the first round, I thought Sean was setting up a knockout. He looked really good on his feet. His footwork was great. He was managing his distance well. He was landing a lot of teep kicks, spinning kicks to the body. He was mixing it up pretty well. I thought he was trying to, do a lot of damage to the body, maybe to the legs early in the fight to try to prevent the potential takedowns from Merab later, but he's the machine for a reason. He takes Sean O'Malley down at the end of the first round for a little bit, dominates him in the second round on the ground. You can see this is where most of the control time came from. But even on the street, on the feet, I mean, don't get me wrong, he landed a majority of his strikes with his control time, but he was outstriking Sean on the feet after the first couple minutes of the first round, all the way through, a little bit of the third round that we got this fight. Very impressed with Merab's performance. He very well may be the greatest of all time in the bantamweight division. I saw some rumors of who he may fight, after Corey, which Corey Sandhagen is the fight to make for this guy, and we'll hit that at the end of the video, but Pantoja potentially coming up to fight Merab, that would be fun. That would be fun. Mind you, I don't think we'll see it this year, and they both have business they need to take care of in their respected divisions. But Merab, I mean, Sean got better, but Merab got even more better than Sean did from the last fight. That's what I took away from this. Merab's striking is really coming together. He was landing that right hand on O'Malley. I mean, he landed, 141 total strikes? I wouldn't be shitting you if I said 100 of those was just that right hand coming through. Merab was stuffing it in like a turkey in the oven, but an amazing performance from Merab. What's next for Sean O'Malley? We'll cover it at the end of the video. Let's fly through some of the best moments here. The next best moment on this entire card, obviously the co-main event. Kayla Harrison submitting Juliana Pena via Kimura in the second round. It was set up so beautifully. I didn't even see the Kimura until it was too late. Kayla just cranked that thing out of nowhere. It looked like she was going for a choke, just trying to flatten Juliana Pena out, landing some strikes. And as soon as she isolated that left arm of Pena, she cranked it like a jack in the box. As soon as I saw the Kimura, it was too late. Juliana Pena had no option but to tap out, which is amazing. Fuck Juliana Pena. I can't stand her. We'll talk about what's next for both of these ladies at the end of the video, but Pena, man, talking all that trash, she's just not that good at all. I mean, top 15 in the UFC for sure, but she just, and then she says that she wants the winner of Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes, which is reportedly going to be Kayla's next fight, Nunes coming out of retirement. She's just delusional. I don't think she's a great fighter. I don't think she's ever been good. Maybe in the Ultimate Fighter like a decade ago, plus change, she was all right, but I don't think she's gotten better. I just don't like her as a person. Maybe that's affecting a little bit of my opinion, but I don't give a fuck. She's terrible. Kayla Harrison just cheese grated her face. Should have broke the arm. Great win for Kayla Harrison. One of my favorite UFC fighters, male and female combined. I love Kayla Harrison. She's a great person. She's an amazing athlete, two-time Olympic gold medalist, a champion in Bellator, a champion in the UFC. Now she's going to fight the GOAT. Amazing win for Kayla Harrison. I'd like to see Kayla and Merab fight. I've been saying this for months, for years. I'd like to see Kayla Harrison fight Merab Davishvili, but we'll never get that. The UFC doesn't make the fights that they need to make. I don't think this was one of the best moments on the card, but I'll cover it real quick. Joe Pyfer, Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin's got a chin on him, man. I'll give him that. I thought he was going to get knocked out in the first round. Maybe it was a low fight IQ moment for Joe Pyfer, letting him stand up, giving the referee time to let Kelvin up. That was probably a mistake. Joe Pyfer looked really good in the first round, and then he sort of just dropped off as the fight went on. Kelvin Gastelum looked better as the fight went on. It's like his chin got better and better the more he got hit. That was weird. Still built like a lunch lady. Nothing's changed there. But Joe Pyfer wasn't as impressed as I thought I would be with his performance. Mind you, if he would have got the knockout in the first round, I would have a whole different opinion on this. But, little things like that do add up, and they can make, drastic, I don't know. I don't know how to word what I'm thinking, but just the little, like the few seconds of Joe Pyfer letting Gastelum get up in that first round versus not pushing for the finish says a lot. That's what I'm trying to say. It says a lot about, his potential right now, his fight IQ, decision making. Like, what if he, like I said, he looked worse and worse as the fight went on. I'm not saying he looked bad. I'm just saying he looked the best in the first round, then the second round, and he looked worse in the third round than he did in the first two, and I gave the third round to Gastelum, I think. I'd have to rewatch it, a little bit fuzzy, but yeah, Joe Pyfer, he looked all right. Should have got the knockout. All I got to say about that fight. This is a highlight of the card. Definitely maybe a top 5 moment. Mario Bautista fraud checking Patchy Mix. Patchy, look at the Patchy got massacred. It didn't look like he was a former champion in another promotion at all. It looked like it was his first time striking. I've seen some other people with similar opinions on X, Twitter, whatever, but Patchy Mix just didn't move his head at all that entire fight. Talked about, I'll submit Mario Bautista. I'll submit the guy that's teaching him submissions. I'll submit his whole team. I'll submit his nutritionist. I'll submit his mom. I'll submit his newborn child. I'll submit, I'll submit everybody in the world. I'm Patchy Mix. Doesn't shoot but one takedown attempt, and it wasn't a good one. I think it came in the third round. But bro, if you're gonna submit somebody, you got to take them down, right? Not throw 300 strikes, but maybe 300 takedown attempts, right? Like if you're gonna submit somebody, you can't do it by punching them and missing majority of the time, but you can't do it by punching them. You have to take them down and do what you said you were going to do. This is a fraud check, certainly. Before I get hate for saying fraud check, look, I'm not throwing fraud checks out left, right, which might be a new segment in the future. I might have a Hall of Fame for infamous fraud checks. This was a fraud check. This was the worst fraud check since the Bo Nickel, maybe worse. So, Bo Nickel's probably feeling really good now that the spotlight is off of him for the most part until his next fight. But Patchy Mix, man, didn't move his head at all. He did what, how do I put this, man? I don't even know how to put this. If your best part of your game is being a wrestler and you go out there and not wrestle, for example, that's terrible. Why would you not play to your strengths? Now, I think he may have mentioned something on Instagram about all you wrestlers saying, you should have taken him down. You think it's that easy. No, we don't think it's that easy. We couldn't do it. We're not in the UFC. But you, Mr. 20-1, 15 finishes. This guy's just a journeyman fighter. I could submit his whole team. We kind of thought you would do it. So Patchy Mix got fraud checked. The image of the person he was trying to sell, that he was trying to push on us, what he told the fans, the UFC, the world, who he was, just wasn't it at all. It'd be a different story if it was a close fight, but you see here, should have been 30-27 on all judges' scorecards. We had a generous judge there, give a 29-28 a round for Patchy, but absolutely disappointing performance. I believe probably one of the worst debuts coming from another promotion, as a former champion. This was worse than the Patricio Pitbull performance, which was bad, but, not terrible. This was terrible.
So patchy mix. We'll get to who he should fight next at the end of the video. I'm going to fly through the rest of these pretty quick. Just have three more big highlights from this card. If you guys missed the card, you should go back and rewatch these when you get the chance. The next being Kevin Holland submitting Vicente Luque. Kevin Holland submitting the submitter. I believe this is the first time Luque's ever been submitted in the UFC. He's been submitted 3 times. Twice was like regional before he got to the UFC back in his heyday. So for Kevin Holland to hit him, I thought that was a Darce choke. It was a Darce choke, not an Anaconda. I'd have to look back. ESPN's not accurate with these submissions. Kevin Holland looked really good. Outstriking him 2-1 on his feet. Getting him down in the second round, just going straight for the choke. I didn't think Luque expected that. Kevin Holland actually trying is something I really enjoy. Even when he's not trying, I love Kevin Holland. But talking the whole fight, outstriking him 2-1, and submitting him in the second round, getting that performance bonus. Kevin Holland, give him Colby Covington in San Antonio. We'll hit more on that at the end of the video. I know I've given out some of my spoilers for fights to make next, but we'll hit that in just a second. This was a big highlight of the card. As you guys know, Joshua Van is stepping in to fight Brandon Royval in just a couple weeks at International Fight Week, 28th of June, I believe. But yeah, knocking out Bruno Silva in the third round. Absolutely phenomenal performance. Also outstruck Bruno Silva 2-1. More accurate strikes. He threw less. He landed at a higher rate. 108 strikes to Bruno Silva's head. Absolutely insane. He didn't look like he took hardly any damage this fight. Had a good little bit of control time, especially at the end there. But Joshua Van looked better against Bruno Silva than Manel Kape did. Kape's the number 6 ranked fighter. Going into this fight, Joshua Van was unranked. Absolutely abysmal. Like a phenomenal performance. Definitely top 5 on the card. Can't wait to watch him fight Brandon Royval. He's a 2-1 favorite against Brandon Royval, which is absolutely insane. Somebody going like unranked just a few days ago, now 2-1 favorite against the number 1 contender, just for a knockout against Bruno Silva, who was 14. I don't know if I agree with those odds. I think Van should be an underdog, obviously, but I still want him to win, and I really like Royval. That's going to be an amazing fight, man. But props to Van. Didn't get a performance bonus, but definitely top 5 highlight for the card for me. And then I got a little bonus one here for you guys. In case you missed it, the third fight on the entire card. Definitely knockout of the night. People are saying knockout of the year, but they forget Mauricio Ruffy's spinning heel kick Bobby Green in the dome piece in March. That's solidified knockout of the year. Nobody can top that unless Joaquin Buckley wants to do a little rerun of his spinning kick on Usman this weekend. I doubt it. Ju Sang Yu, man, he didn't even look like he put any power in that. He gets a round 1 knockout in just 28 seconds against the Indonesian fighter. Jeka Sariga, I don't know. I mean, we're probably not going to see him again. Ju Sang Yu, like, it didn't even look like he put any power into it. It was just, Jeka was coming forward. He put a left hook out and just connected in the perfect spot right under the ear, right where the chin connects, the jaw connects. It was phenomenal, man. You've probably seen the highlight about 30,000 times by the time this video comes out, but Ju Sang Yu, honorable mention. I believe he got a bonus for that, which deserved, but definitely top moment of the card. But yeah, the next couple fights, I mean, Quillan Salkid, Yanal Ashmus, I got that one wrong. Quillan, my suspicion about his grappling abilities and his takedown defense was answered. The kid can grapple a bit, so I'll eat my words on that one. I was impressed with that performance. It was a great fight to watch. And then the very first fight on the card, Markel Medeiros against Mark Choinsky. This was crazy, man. Choinsky's leg was eaten up, man. Look, you can see Markel landed 31 leg kicks out of 39 to Mark Choinsky's leg, man. I believe it was his left leg. It was hard to watch. I thought he was going to get a TKO via leg kicks this fight. Very impressive performance from Markel Medeiros. Even though it was a decision, because decision fights can be good fights too. I don't know why that's unpopular. Fans don't like it. Casual fans, whatever. Markel Medeiros looked really good. The other fights were pretty good. I was wrong. I went 7-6, I think, on predictions. It was a rough one to guess, but I was very entertained. Absolutely fantastic card all around. But now I want to get into the next fights to make after 316. I made a post here. I'll just talk about each one briefly. Merab versus Sandhagen, obviously the next fight to make. I really wanted to see Sandhagen and O'Malley, but O'Malley would have had to have beaten Merab to get that fight. Sandhagen's the next guy in line, especially what he just did to Figgy, just blew his knee up. Sandhagen can grapple. A lot of people are counting him out. Sandhagen is absolutely dangerous everywhere. And unlike Merab, the mentality that Corey Sandhagen has when he goes into fights is he genuinely wants to hurt you. You could be his mother. If he signed a UFC contract to fight his mother and Corey Sandhagen steps in to fight his mom, he's going to try to hurt that bitch. That's just the mentality that he has, the ability that he has. We just saw it with Figgy. I've been on the Sandhagen wagon, the sand wagon, we'll say, for a little while now. That's definitely the fight to make. I'm probably going to go with Corey. I love both guys. Merab's grown on me infamously, but this is definitely the number one fight to make next. Merab and Sandhagen. Next, a loser from the main event at 316, Sean O'Malley. Give him Song Yadong. Striker's delight. Sean needs to get back in the win column, and there's a lot of talk about him going up to featherweight. I haven't heard it out of his mouth. It's mostly been from other people online saying he should. Some commentators, mentioning it might be a good idea. All right, slow your roll here. He's still ranked number one. I don't think he's actually the number one guy in the division, obviously, but give him Song Yadong next. Song Yadong will strike with him. Sean O'Malley wants to strike. He doesn't want to worry about getting taken down. He's probably got PTSD after fighting the best takedown artist in the UFC, Merab, 2 times in a row. Give him Song Yadong. Striker's delight. Let us see if O'Malley actually, has it still, can actually still knock out the top-level guys. Song Yadong's earned it. Mind you, that fight against Henry Cejudo was terrible. The eye poke was terrible. I think that should have ended in a draw. He didn't win that fight. But give him O'Malley. Throw another elite striker up there in the top 5. Let's see some fireworks. Kayla Harrison, Amanda Nunes, this is no secret. They faced off after she won the title on Saturday, but obviously the fight to make next. Nunes wanting to come out of retirement, more than a year layoff, might be a little bit of rust around that ring. I'd like to see that fight. Personally, I think Kayla absolutely ragdolls Nunes, but we'll see. That's the fight to make next for her, for the bantamweight division, women's bantamweight division, because there's nobody else there mostly. Next fight, Juliana Pena versus retiring. I think Juliana Pena should absolutely retire from the sport. I don't know how her financial situation is. If it's not great, since she says she has all these friends and everybody likes her way more than Kayla, start an OnlyFans. We'll see how that goes for you. You'll definitely make a lot more than you would in the UFC, especially at this point. Next fight to make, the 5th fight, Joe Pyfer against Abus Magomedov. Abus, I believe, is just at the edge of the middleweight rankings, 14 or 15 off the top of my head. It'd be a good test for Pyfer. See if he's top 15 material. He's got decent wrestling where he could probably, hold Abus off from going for relentless takedowns. So it could be a striker's delight. Abus likes to throw. He throws hard. Pyfer throws hard. They both kind of burn out quick. I think this is a great 3-round fight to make. Abus's cardio's definitely got a little bit better, but Pyfer just slows down. And maybe it'll get better with more time, but he just seems to slow down a little bit as the fight goes on. It's not terrible, but he does slow down. It's no secret. So book that fight. I'd love to see it. Next fight, number 6 fight to make after UFC 316, Mario Bautista versus Rob Font. This is a great fight. I think Bautista's ranked 9 now. Font's ranked 8. It doesn't do a whole lot to switch up the rankings in the division, but I think it'll be a great fight. A lot of the guys, in the top 5 or, above 8 are busy. They have some fights in the mix. I think this is a great... They're both strikers. They're both kind of like decision fighters. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that with any disrespect. All I mean is they take their time. They're very technical artists. And I think, Rob Font's experience with how Mario Bautista's looked in recent fights, especially against other veterans like Aldo and Patchy, I guess, if you want to call Patchy a veteran, even though, he's kind of in his prime. He's got some good experience. Great fight to make. Number 7, Patchy Mix. I know Malcolm Wellmaker's got a fight, I believe, this weekend, but give Patchy Mix Malcolm Wellmaker. All right, if you want to strike, you want to stay on your feet and not move your head, give him a hungry contender like Malcolm Wellmaker, who's looked phenomenal recently. I think that would be a great fight if Wellmaker wins. Even if he loses, fuck it, book it. And number 8, honestly, this might be my favorite. This might be my favorite fight to make on after 316. Honestly, looking at this list I have here, Kevin Holland versus Colby Covington. Loser retires unless it's Kevin Holland. All right, let Kevin Holland retire Colby Covington. This guy's just a streamer now. I don't like Colby at all, and I got a wrestling background. Typically, I like the American wrestlers, but Colby Covington, I just hate, man. I haven't liked him since like 2017. I just don't like Colby Covington. Let Kevin Holland retire him. Kevin Holland is a good welterweight fighter. I told you guys he was a good welterweight fighter. He needs to stop going up to middleweight. He could still beat some of the guys at middleweight, which is crazy. He could beat a lot of middleweight fighters, but he's a fucking welterweight. Let's keep it that way. Retire Colby. Get your top 10 ranking like I said he would, and let's just take care of business there. In terms of the Fight Guys bingo card, we'll cover in just a second. Guys, I would really appreciate it if you just give this video a thumbs up. If you've made it this far and you haven't done so, just press the like button. It helps me out a lot. And subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you are new here, something I started in the beginning of the year was the Fight Guy bingo card. You can go on my X account here at the Fight Guy, and you can click my photos and see what the original looked like. But this is where we're at already, 6 months into the year. A lot of spaces have hit. It looks like about 50% of the spaces has hit. And we got some tough ones to go, but nothing has hit at 316, I believe. Yeah, nothing crazy. We didn't get a no contest. No fighter shorts came off. No body slam knockout. Mouthpiece flying out. Nothing crazy that could happen in a fight that's left on this bingo card has hit. The only thing that hit last week was Macy Barber missing weight, which I believe was this square. Main event missing weight. But we are all good. No bingo spaces have hit after 316. But there's still plenty of time left this year. We'll see what happens. That has been it. This is the Fight Guy. If you're in Los Angeles, stay safe. I think that's, whatever, dude. This is the Fight Guy. Thanks for watching.